That's why I love forced induction cars, that torque grunt down low. Hi guys, it's your friendly Desert Cul-de-sac Sarah here with another car review. And if you're wondering why I always say Desert Cul-de-sac Sarah, I'm standing in a cul-de-sac, I live in the desert, and I'm a Sarah. So now that that's out of the way, today I'm reviewing this guy, a 2019 Genesis G70 3.3T rear-wheel drive Prestige, worldwide.
Why?
It's actually just Prestige. I added the worldwide, but some of you will get that. You guys know me, I don't do the read off the brochure style car review, and if you've never seen one of my car reviews before, I'm going to point out what I like, what I don't care for, and what I just found flat out kind of weird and quirky about this Genesis G70 3.3T Prestige. I won't say the rest, I promise. First up, the seats. Hands down, out of any car I reviewed so far, this has to be my favorite seats in a car. I'm usually not a fan of light colored interiors because they get dirty quick, but I don't care. It looks so good in here. Just looking at the interior of this thing, you would expect this car to cost double what it actually costs. I think when it comes to the price per value, you are getting your money's worth with the interior of this car. The seats are comfortable, they're heated, they're air conditioned, there's more power features than I even know what to do with. Ooh, what's the seat doing? There's odd buttons like on the side of the seat over here. That's just smart. They nailed it on the interior of this G70. That's cool. When it comes to the dash, I have to say the Audi A5 I reviewed about a month or so ago had a better looking dash for the same price car, but the seats in here, definite win. What I found odd about the G70, and this is something Doug DeMera would be a huge fan of, there's some QR codes on some stickers under the seats of the car. I cannot look at a car without looking for QR codes because of him. Thank you. I'm usually not a huge fan of factory navigation systems in cars, but I have to give credit where it's due. They nailed it with the push to talk button here on the rearview mirror.
Please say the POI name or address you want to find.
It has understood me every single time I've tried to put a point of interest into a navigation system.
I still didn't hear you.
And the map is actually really easy to follow on the screen, so I don't really need to use the navigation on my phone through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which is still cool that that option's there. The only thing I don't care for, and it's something that I don't like in a lot of vehicles, is for the automatic transmission. Selecting it into park, there's a button instead of moving the lever forward, so sometimes if you're not used to the car, you'll put it in reverse instead of park. But huge credit for the fact that they offer this car with a manual transmission if you get the 2.0 turbo rear wheel drive. That's awesome. Speaking of engines, it's time to get technical. Hence why I'm raising my arm awkwardly. This means technical, just in case you were wondering. I'm so weird sometimes. Anyway, this is the part where I'm gonna pop the hood on the car. We're gonna go over the engine, the transmission, and just overall geek out on tech specs on what makes this Genesis G70 3.3T rear wheel drive unique. Ooh, pretty. The first thing that stood out to me when I popped the hood on this Genesis G70 is the bracing that goes from the top of the strut tower to your radiator core support. It ties in the interior styling cues with the brushed aluminum look. And overall, looking under the hood, it's a good looking bay. I'm not a fan of the faux carbon fiber on the engine cover, however, but they're gonna get a pass for the fact that the charge pipe has this rubberized textured coating on it, which I would imagine would cut down on heat soak. Now, getting on with the engine itself, this is a shared power plant with the Kia Stinger GT. It is a 3.3 liter twin turbo all aluminum V6 that puts out 365 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque as early on as 1300 RPM and holds strong all the way up to 4800 RPM. And that was one thing I noticed the most when driving this car, is just how strong that torque shove is. It makes the car feel faster than it actually is. It is an estimated 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds with the rear wheel drive version of the 3.3 liter turbo V6, but it actually feels a little bit quicker than that when you're driving the car. First stop on today's car review journey, I am at Agua Caliente. I think I pronounced that correctly. Hi, bird. A bird follows me everywhere when I do these reviews. Anyway, I'm headed up Mount Lemmon here in Tucson, which is an amazing driving road. And I just want to stop here because there's some kumquat and orange trees near the parking lot, and I'm going to get breakfast. It's free food, right? Although the ones that are left are on the top of the tree. Too much for orange for breakfast. In a nutshell, that sign is saying there are no boop noodles here, only nope ropes. So I'm going to leave. Before we get going, I have drive modes here with this little dial in the center, and you have smart, which is like an intelligent mode that will select what is appropriate for your driving condition. It has eco, comfort, sport, and then custom, so you can kind of like set it up yourself, but there's not really a lot of options to choose with the custom, and I had everything set to sport when I tried to customize it, so we'll just leave it in sport. Time to put these Brembos to the test. Wouldn't be one of my reviews without the braking test, but this time I'm gonna use the G-force meter on the gauge cluster to see how many G's we pull braking. So, all right, Brembos, rip my face off. Ready? Oh, I pulled 1 G on the G meter. And pulled all the hair out of my head in the process. Good brakes. Real quick, let's test out the acceleration in this bad chicken. Sport mode is engaged, and well, I'm just gonna let it do all the shifting on its own. Seems to be the quickest way. Go. Man, it's very drama-free. It's quick. It doesn't look quick on camera, but you feel it in your gut. Time to head up the mountain. Here we go. This thing sounds really good. And there's so much torque down low. Like, I just reviewed the Bullet Mustang last week, and that was something I kind of, I mean, it was hard to knock that car. I really enjoyed it, but one of the criticisms was there wasn't a lot of low-end torque at low RPM, which is crazy because that thing pulled like a freight train in the upper RPM. This is a different story. It pulls pretty consistent through the power band, I would say. I don't want to say it feels like it drops off at the top, because it doesn't, but down low, there's such a good torque shove, which I love. That's why I love forced induction cars, that torque grunt down low. I lucked out today. It's not super windy. So this is the first major pullout that I like stopping at. It's a Thimble Peak pullout. And it's like a serious drop over the edge right here, but it's super pretty. It's so weird to me that when you want this car to be, it's super tail happy, but going around corners, it's really smooth and refined right now. They kind of nailed it on the head with making a luxury sports sedan, because it is an accurate description of what this car is. It's a luxury car, but it's sporty when you want it to be, and it gets to business when you need it to. All right, let's give this paddle shifter a shot. Downshift. It's not slow, but it's not quick. The upshifts are not bad though. The upshifts are fairly quick. Downshifts, yeah, it kind of hesitates a little bit. The upshifts though has this little kind of power surge that they tuned into the TCU that kicks you back every time. I like it, it's fun. I just wish that you could get the 6-speed manual offered in the 2.0T rear wheel drive in this 3.3 turbo V6, because I mean, I think that would be awesome to have a 6-speed manual with this engine. That would be so fun. Yeah, I just hiked up this important heels. What I'll do for YouTube. Anyway, I want to show you the vantage point from here because it's amazing. It makes me want to have toge battles up this mountain and watch right here. Why do I do these things? leave a comment below in the comment section if you live in Arizona or have ever been to Tucson and you know Mount Lemmon, if you would like to see once a year a sanctioned hill climb, kind of like the Pikes Peak hill climb. Dude, I'd be all about that. I would love to participate in a hill climb. This mountain road is awesome. This car makes me happy to be a car enthusiast. Like, it brings out that inner, I want to do bad things and send tires to hell-ness inside of me. And then I can put it in comfort mode and bump the stereo and turn on my cooled seats and just kind of like ride in style and have people look at the emblems thinking this thing's actually a Bentley when it's a Hyundai product. True fact, I've had a couple people come up to me and go, is that a Bentley? Because the way the logo looks for Genesis, it kind of looks like a Bentley logo, I guess, to some people. But it's not. Ta-da! I'm at the top. Echo. It's so quiet up here. It's really windy. It's like 55 degrees and there's snow in the shady areas. I just wanted to take you guys up here real quick. Plus it's a fun drive to do a car review on, even though you can't really give it hell all the way up the mountain. It was smart creating this new Genesis line. It distances itself from Hyundai, even though, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but a lot of people think Hyundai and they think, oh, it's just a cheap car. It feels like a well-built car. It feels solid. It's good looking. It kind of looks like a cat somehow in the front. I don't really know why, but it looks like a cat. Like the LED daytimers in the headlights look like whiskers a little bit. The only thing I don't like is the chrome grille on here, especially in the center. There's this little square flat piece of plastic and it has like the simulated chrome mesh on it. It looks super cheap and cheesy. That's the only thing on this car exterior wise, other than the fake plastic exhaust tips. You guys know how I feel about fake exhaust on cars. Don't do it. So if you're gonna get one of these and you don't opt for any packages and you just get the 3.3 turbo rear wheel drive, it starts at 44 grand. And with the way this car looks on the outside and the way it looks on the inside, it looks like a lot more expensive of a car than it really is. I mean, yes, that's a lot of money for a car, but I feel like you're getting your money's worth with this car if you're looking for a luxury sports sedan. They nailed it with this thing. Get out of the road, snake. What is wrong with you? There's a snake crossing the road and I didn't want it to get hit, so I pulled over with my hazards on so he can finish crossing. Bye, snake. My deed is done for the day. So if you've never seen one of my car reviews before, I do what is called a bean score, and it's a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And this Genesis 3.3T is going to get a rating of 2.5 beans. The real question is, how many beans would it get if you modified it? I cannot wait to see these things end up on the used market and then have people start turning up the boost, putting bigger turbos, etc., etc. I think it's a great tuner platform, and for the price, it's a pretty decent luxury car too. So I'm really impressed with this. But if it came down between the Stinger or the Genesis, I think I would actually get the Kia Stinger. I don't know what it is about that car, but it had a little bit more character than this one did. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this review, and I'll see you next week with another. Bye. Aw, I don't know if you can see it on camera, there's all kinds of little baby turtles swimming around in here. That is so cute.